Welcome back, everybody. If you happen to be a dog lover, there is a book out there that is an absolute must-read. It is called Duffy's World. And not only is it for dog lovers, but in this book, the author also shares different experiences, how this can help you get through the many different challenges that we all face in life. So many, many benefits to reading this particular book. But I want you to keep in mind that title, Duffy's World. And the author is Faith McCune. And Faith, we are so happy to have you on the show. Welcome to our show.
Thank you very much, Bob. Thanks for having me.
Yes, it's a pleasure. And you have put together a great book, Duffy's World. First, I want to ask you, are you an author of other books, or is this the first book you've ever done?
This is the very first book.
How did you come by doing this then?
I was working with a coach about in May of 2012.
Okay.
And she and I talked about passion one day.
Passion, yes.
And she asked me what my passion is, and I said, I love dogs. There's nothing more that I love than a dog.
Right, right.
So she said, well, have you thought about writing a book? And I thought, well, I kind of did, but I had things, put aside, but I never did anything about it. And she said, well, the time is now.
That's right.
So I said, okay, let's give it a try.
So you just sat down and started to relate experiences that you had in life with. Now let's talk specifically then about Duffy's World. All right, first of all, who is Duffy?
Duffy was my very first Australian Shepherd. Now, I had other dogs before, but nothing like Duffy.
What was so special about Duffy?
Duffy, because of his breed, he's a herding dog, so naturally they have tons of stamina, and he's high energy already. And he is extremely intelligent. So you either have to find him a job or you got to keep him occupied. Otherwise, he can do tremendous damage.
Is that right?
All kinds of craziness in your home.
Wow. Well, let's talk about some of the different experiences before Duffy.
Okay.
Okay. And you had some negative experiences, right? With other dogs?
With other dogs, no, not really, because we had, what you call mutts.
Yeah.
And they were really pretty good. We had, the one we had before Duffy was a sweet, gentle little female.
Right.
And so we were looking for another sweet little lap dog. Unfortunately, he was not a lap dog.
That didn't happen, right? Now, you were telling me before something about you were going to the vet one day?
Yeah, one day we, Duffy only rode the car when we took him to the vet because he created such a clamor. He would not just bark or whine, he would scream.
Wow.
And or what I would call yiking.
Yiking?
Yeah.
Okay,
and
all right.
So he was a drama king, so we would drive up to a stoplight, and that's when the performance really hit the high level.
Oh my.
And he would be yiking and clawing at the window and having everybody look at us and saying, what are they doing to this poor dog? And then he's going, help, help, I'm going to the vet. And so as we're screaming at him to shut up, the three of us, my husband, myself, and I, are screaming all the way to the vet.
What an experience. A trip you don't forget, right? Now, keep in mind also that Faith has put together a special offer. I want you to go to the website that you happen to see on the screen right now. And Faith has put together a special offer. Not only are you going to get Duffy's World, but she has also added 150 tips to really raise your puppy, all right? Helpful tips to raise your puppy. This is going to be yours as a bonus. So you'll get Duffy's World, the incredible book, but you'll also get this bonus that Faith has put together. So let's talk about some takeaways, okay? When I read the book, besides being a dog lover and the obvious benefits of dogs and everything, what am I going to take away from this book?
Well, what Duffy is actually the person talking in most of the book. And so some of the takeaways would be some of the things that we did that didn't help the situation. And so I have a few segments of tips after each part of the book that tells people what they probably should do in in place of what we did,
Right.
so that they won't have the kind of situations that we ran into.
So you're going to help us through Duffy, so to speak.
Right. Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I've noticed there's so many great pictures in here, too. Tell us about some of the pictures that we're going to be able to view in the book.
Okay. One of the first pictures would be his puppy picture.
Uh-huh.
And I think, as most people would probably attest, is that puppies are adorable.
Right.
But when I saw Duffy, he stole my heart.
Ah.
And I said, I have to have this dog, even though he was running rampant in his mother's house.
Right, right.
And little did I know that it would not change.
Right.
But over the course of the first few months, he met his sister, which was a cat
Okay.
that we called Jingles.
Jingles.
And she was actually semi-feral. But she took to him right away, and
Wow.
he said, gee, this is like my mom away from home.
Oh, wow.
And they got along famously.
Oh, that's great.
So-
That's
and,
great.
And then later on, we decided that he needed some comfort, because we just put him in a cardboard box when I brought him home. And that was his home for the first 2 nights, where he cried all night. And so I had this green blanket that I gave to him, kind of to give him the idea that maybe, this is his pseudo mom.
Right.
Well, of course, he's not going to figure that's his mother, but
He didn't fall for that, right?
no, but he kept that blanket without biting it, tearing or anything throughout his entire life.
Wow.
And it just amazed me, because he was death and destruction for everything else.
Exactly. Once again, what we're talking about is Duffy's World, okay? A book that you'll enjoy reading it if you're a dog lover, but also if you're facing different challenges in your life. The lessons learned, what Faith McCune has put in here. She's put little tips at the end of the chapters that can help you navigate through different situations in life. And in addition to all of that, Faith has also put together a special offer. Not only are you getting Duffy's World, but she's going to add as a bonus the 150 training tips for puppies. So you can learn from this as well. So you get them both, but the only way you can do that is if you go to the website, and that's the website address that you see on the screen right now, and take advantage of Duffy's World. Well, what would you like readers to know about this? I mean, who do you see really reading this particular book?
Well, I had geared it mostly for preteens and up, because one of my friends said that it really is a family book, but
Yes.
for the younger kids, they won't understand the wordplay or some of the puns that we have in there.
Right.
And because a lot of times Duffy would hear a word and interpret it in his own way, and mostly it's to his advantage.
Right,
So,
right,
yeah.
exactly. So, and it's a great read. I mean, it really is. It's an enjoyable a book to read, but also to look through. And I love, again, what you captured in the photographs,
Yeah.
in the book as well. So any final words, final thoughts about Duffy's World that you want our viewers to know?
Well, I think there's actually two messages.
Okay.
One is that there's a lot of puppies that are misunderstood because their owners don't have the knowledge on training them.
Right.
And I think because we have a lot of dogs that are turned into shelters,
Yes.
and a lot of times people think that by doing so, maybe somebody else would get their dog. But unfortunately, the shelters don't have the money to keep them indefinitely, and almost 60% of those puppies are destroyed.
Oh, wow.
And also, there's a lot of people out there who are sad or isolated or lonely, and they don't know what to do with themselves. If they got a dog, this dog is a natural social mechanism to get them out in the world, to have fun, and meet a lot of people. This
Enjoy
is the best
life.
way. Right.
Right? I mean, I think the book is for everybody. I really do. And you can get yours right now. The way to do it, go to the website. You'll get Duffy's World, but Faith has put together that special offer once again. You're also going to get 150 training tips for puppies. All yours simply by going to the website and taking advantage of it. Faith, thank you so much for, first of all, writing the book and then coming on the show and sharing it with everybody, because you're really helping a lot of people out there, and I appreciate that, and I know they do too.
Thank you so much, Bob. I really appreciate your time and having me on your show.
Our pleasure. Okay, once again, Duffy's World and the bonus, don't forget that, and be sure to take advantage of this simply by going to the website right now.